The Nigerian government are now happy that Boko Haram has taken over more territories in Nigeria. They are happy that the bandits are chasing people out of their ancestral homes. This is the position of Omoyende Sowore. Listen to what he said. It's full of truth and wisdom. We are going to discuss and analyze what he said, but take a listen.
Nigeria has failed to the point that the leaders of Nigeria are happy that there's more and more territory taken by terrorists and bandits so that they don't have to govern. It's the best excuse you can have to say, look, I would have done a route, but terrorists are taking over the place. But the question you should ask yourself is, what is the definition of terrorism? And if you look at the definition of terrorism very well, it is Nigerian government that's actually a terrorist organization. If you doubt me, go and ask the judge in Canada who ruled that the APC and PDP are terrorist organizations, including Nigerian police, was ruled as a terrorist organization. So what else can I tell you?
Nigeria's population growth is not tackled by the year 2050. That Boko Haram will be in child's
Obasanjo has no leg to stand on when we talk about population. How many kids does Obasanjo has? He has a kid almost the size of a city, but that's not the issue. The issue is that population is not a barrier if a country is well governed, if there are leaders who know what they are doing. The most, prosperous countries today are the countries that have the highest population, China, India. But it will be a problem, what he should have said is that if you have a huge population that are not educated, that are not taken care of, Boko Haram will happen. Even if the population of your country is 200,000 people, and you have useless leaders, there will still be Boko Haram in that country. But if you have upward, mobile, well-educated population, you are ready for prosperity. Go and ask China, India. And Nigeria has 200 million people that are ready to take on the rest of the world. But certain things need to be done. But, I don't like to discuss Obasanjo because they're the ones who failed this country to where it is today. They will just come around and pick microphone whenever they like because the country has not punished them for the evil they did to the country.
All right, just a quick one. This is what Omoyede Sowore was saying in this interview. He said that the government in power will be happy because Boko Haram has taken more territories and they are going to use it as an excuse. Look at this publication from Channels Television. You see it right? CDS Musa was quoted on Channels Television saying that they could not respond to terrorist attacks because of bad rules. So which road did the terrorists use to go there to attack? If it is because of the road that is making you people not to respond, that is a lie, They are looking for a way to put it. So there are some projects they will put in where they are terrorizing. And if you tell them, why did you not do the project? We have paid for it. They will tell you they are terrorists. I'm not responsible to fighting terrorism. That is what Sowore is talking about. After CDS told us that, it's because of the bad roads that is making people not to respond swiftly, that is making the police, the military not to respond swiftly. The next week, I was surprised to hear CDS saying that they have to fence the whole Nigeria for insecurity to end. I made a video that time and I was asking, what about the terrorists that are using helicopter to drop weapons? Are you going to fence the border because of them? All this thing we are doing is just a waste of time. Totally a waste of time. What anybody who is sane supposed to do is to go after people who imported these terrorists, who is still sponsoring the terrorists. Ask former Borno governor, why did you give Boko Haram leader commission of religious affairs? Because if we talk, they will tell you that it's America that is sponsoring them. You people don't understand the security. Is it America that appointed the Boko Haram commissioner? United Arab Emirates released the name of terror sponsors. Are they America? Why do they not try them? Kunde Olawumi and his team, military intelligence, arrested 400 Boko Haram members. The presidency refused to try them. Why? Is it America that arrested them? Is it America that told them not to, try them? Forget about all those things. See, if the people in Nigeria are not ready to fight it, nobody will fight it. Forget about those things you are seeing. The rate of collusion is alarming. And let me tell you, I don't think Nigeria is going to survive this. No, things is going to change. When I mean this is going to change,
you know, there's a failure of our security architecture to actually tailor and prepare what I would call an intelligent response to the current insecurity across the country. They might end up having us, you know, resort to self-help. I know I have seen in several communities, people are now designing their own self-help strategies. And I even read some yesterday advising people, whatever you do, don't tell anybody, because when you speak, because of members of the state probably in complicit, you know, collusion, as General Danjuma stated. It's not everybody that works for the Nigerian state that are today in collusion. But because of Buhari's set of protocols in which those who work with the state are in collusion with these terrorists, and President Tinubu had not been able to weed those people out, it becomes a problem trusting them. And that's why I can understand his solid attempt to now resort to a new body called the Forest Guards. They may not be infiltrated, and that they may be able to build something that has not yet been Afghanistan. You know, our security services, I believe, have been Afghanistan. You know, the Afghanistanization of the security services simply means the infiltration of our security services of those evil people, the terrorists, just the same way Buhari ran what he called a de-radicalization policy, which now got him to infuse members of the terrorist movement into the security services, primarily the army. And what did you have? Suddenly, these people infused and are the ones providing intelligence to those who didn't get converted, you know, through the radicalization problem. So we have a problem. There is not a proper stating of priorities of state by departments of state, in this case, the Department of State Security. What they are going after is not the proper thing to do. They should be gathering intelligence to tell the army or the police who to go and hold or to take away from the space so that we can have peace. They're not doing that. You know, the crisis is still sustaining all across the country. People are being killed, and these militias are killing people everywhere, and nobody's doing a thing. So for me, the state is still very much asleep and sleeping right on the wheels. It is wrong to have allowed Atiku to succeed Buhari. It will be one Fulani after the other, and as you see, the Fulanis killing people across the country. Why? They want to appropriate the country.
Be careful of the use of words. You know, when you generalize.
Allow me to use my words, please.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this is a national
You might be very careful.
And there are good people in every
I am speaking
tribe.
about national security. Hold on, please. My brother, this is a national security issue.
Yes.
There is a war on. You want to pretend there's no war. There's a war
pretending. I'm only saying there are
a lot of you journalists are part of the problem. You don't want to address the truth. There's a war on. Why are you saying you're not pretending? There's a war on. People are being killed everywhere. You're saying there's no war. What do you mean you're not pretending? You are. You are part of the problem in this country. Allow us to speak the truth so that people will know what's going on. There's a war on. People in the Benue cannot go to farm. People in Plateau cannot stay in their houses. People in Taraba can't. Everywhere there's a war, and you're telling me that we should keep quiet? No, there's a problem. So those who are responsible for the war simply want to turn Nigeria into a settler colonial entity, and that's what's going on. You don't see that. You're seeing the politics. Forget about the politics. There is a real problem in the country. People are not sleeping at night. People, even in daytime, our farmers cannot go to farms. We now have food security problems. Why? The Fulani war across West Africa has finally bettered in Nigeria. And you don't want me to talk about it. Why? Who are you afraid of? Who will hear it and we will die? This is the problem. The country has gone wrong. Because a lot of you keep quiet. I'm aware of this. So please, when we have a problem like this serious national security issue, we must speak to it and not pretend it doesn't exist. It does exist. There's nothing wrong with implosion. Implosions are historically normal in human situations. When you put too many things inside one container, they could implode when that container can no more bear them. What you will ask yourself is, after the implosion, where do we go to? Are you afraid of implosion? No, don't be afraid of implosion. In most societies, without an implosion, nobody knocks the gong and calls people to come and talk and find out solutions to the crisis that undermine the community. Nigeria currently is at a crossroad. There is a war on, an asymmetrical war, and the government seems very weak about it. People are panicking and people are running, thinking that Tinubu can help. And that's the problem. If other politicians cannot, well, there's nothing wrong for the sake of security thinking that Tinubu will be different from either Atiku or Buhari. I see nothing different in Atiku and Buhari. They're the same 10 and 10 pence. If you're telling me now, and I'll talk about security situation, that's the problem. The country is in dire straits, and the security architecture looks like it has been Afghanistan. It is right now ineffective, and that's why you're hearing people talk about state police and protocols that will allow the people to be able to protect themselves. We are moving towards that. If the government cannot help, people will resort to self-help. My brother, the security situation is serious and it is real. And this is the problem. We're not talking about it. We're pretentiously talking about it on the political front. There are underplays that are driving this problem in. One, the military are not united. Two, because of under the Buhari administration, there was a large-scale Afghanization of the Nigerian security services. I mean, Afghanization, you understand what it is. It's the penetration by political interests into the security services to actually plant soldiers who will do things in line with their own security intentions. And if they want to take over the country, of course, the easiest way is to put their militias into our army, or rather, to have our army give up weapons and give up bases easy to their militias. And that's what's going on. So people are actually, yes, that's why you're seeing some people try to run to Tinubu. But sometimes they might also stop running to Tinubu and start organizing for themselves. I foresee people resorting to self-help. You see the army base. Ask yourself, I've said it on this program before, Tinubu might have taken over power, but is he in charge security-wise all over the country? I don't think so. There are a lot of infiltrations perpetrated during the Buhari period that Tinubu has not yet been able to undo. You now see a lot of those taken into security services, people who are said to be the radicalized elements from Bokóharam. It is those radicalized elements that are now showing the Bokóharam and all these Islamist fronts, militias, what to do in the country. At the end of the Civil War, Nigeria was 70% Christian, 30% Muslim. But the Muslims have been fighting to try to turn everything upside down. So, and their Muslim politicians are also doing the same thing. So I tell you, there is an Afghanization of Nigerian security services underway. And that's what I can tell you. I don't believe in all those things that are being done. If it is here, people agitating for peacefully, agitating for different standards, you will see the army come to the east and start arresting people, start arresting Sunday Igbo. How come the army are not strong up north? Don't forget, these same security strategies were employed to undermine President Goodluck Jonathan. And now that the same set of people are not happy with President Tinubu, they are now employing the same strategy to suddenly undermine President Tinubu. That's why I'm telling you that what you're having now is an Afghanization of the security services. So that has been known for a very long time, and I have been very strong on this. Speaking about security, when most people were very afraid to even allow me speak, what happened today is all over the place. What I've been saying for the past 12 years, is it not all over the place? And these were products of hard research findings. I traveled to Mali, I went to Burkina Faso, I went to Cote d'Ivoire, I went to Ghana, I traveled to Yemen, the homeland of the Fulani, and I found out these problems. I presented it to Nigerians and I told them there is a war on to take land from Nigerians, take the land, take over the land, administer over the land, colonize the people who own the land. And that's what I tell you, it is the new version of settler colonialism taking place in Nigeria. Even helped by Buhari administration. Buhari told people to come into the country with guns. Like, how could you let people come through your border with guns? Those people with guns are now using those guns to colonize and arrest and kidnap Nigeria.